Welcome to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
No. No. Hell to the no. Hell no. Did you just oh. No, hell no. There's some crazy going on up in there.
Guys, calm down. You're right to the top.
Okay, but guys, that's right there. Just move.
Hey! Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I know you're in the package, but even with that,
Can we put a security set back? Cause that just moved. Like that just moved. Like that just moved.
what are you talking about?
I'm not gonna break it. That right there just moved.
That certainly wasn't a fan blowing on that chair. This one has a believable story to it as well. The description of the video says all the other guys in the shop, besides the guy who's freaking out, they all thought that he was just messing with everybody until they went back and watched the security camera footage. That's why they were acting the way they were acting, like this guy was just going crazy. I think if someone was doing this intentionally, we would have seen a bigger reaction out of that person specifically. I would imagine they would have been excited at the success of their prank. But I didn't see anyone who matches that description. Nobody was celebrating. This could be genuine.
Have any of you actually discovered who this guy is yet?
And I'm not talking about Jay-Z. I'm talking about this guy right here.
A lot of celebrities have his art. And some celebrities idolize him so much they spend millions of dollars on his artwork and his hairstyles too. This is Jean-Michel Basquiat, the boyfriend of Madonna before the world even knew her name. And it kind of made me wonder why certain celebrities idolize him so much. For example, like his three-pointed crown, which was Chris Rock's first tattoo at the age of 55, in which LeBron James jumped in on that too. Same for P. Diddy and Dave Bautista. And it made me wonder why Hollywood finds Basquiat's artwork more unique than anyone else's. For one, articles state that he was a medium, a magician. His mission was nothing less than the restoration of powerful spiritual function to art, a channeling of the eternal through the ephemeral. Articles state that Basquiat was a scion of Haiti. He knows the law as the Haitian gods, and he knows what they sound like on a jazz record. He can hear Urzili when she's speaking through the clarinet, and he understands the relationship between possession on the dance floor that the gods are in, the music. And I find it extremely coincidental that P. Diddy has a massive back tattoo of Urzili or Azili Dantor on his back. They're pretty spot on, I'd say. And how ironic is it that Madonna depicts Alizé as well, right down to the heart. Many celebrities own his art, especially Ellen. And believe me, she has many.
I think it's getting more clear and clear by the day why these people are obsessed with this guy's art. They're evil people doing evil deeds, and they're so proud of themselves they want to wear these tattoos like a badge of honor. And according to the internet, that crown is just supposed to represent his own rise from street artist to art world king. But literally every other time I've ever heard mention of a three-pointed crown in my entire life, it was a representation of the Holy Trinity. This feels to me like they're trying to take a symbol of faith and claim it as their own. And thinking about what the three-pointed crown has stood for historically, why in his depiction is it all scarred and beaten up looking?
All right, I'm gonna make the definitive video about this building, because there's a lot of lies and a lot of secrets. And just, you got the logo, and then you have the real thing. Guys, turns out it's the tallest dome in North America. Did some research. Look at it. For everyone who's saying that it's made of concrete, it is not. It has an andesite base with sandstone, exterior walls, dome, columns, and then marble on the inside. And if you guys think, like, what is this weird Greco-Roman palace doing in humble Olympia, Washington? Story goes that in 1911, just put yourself here in 1911, right? That's not a 2023 Mazda. That's a 1911 car. You already had one castle, and you decided that from scratch, from nothing, you were going to build this. It's almost 300 feet, guys, from the bottom to the top, right? That means you're 200 feet in the air when you're carving that. It's like, this is a brand new building they spent 20 million on, and look at this, they made a little step, and this is 2 little pieces of sandstone with some wood on top. Not only did they make this building, they also say they made this building for insurance, and they made this one. Like, again, all the same logic applies. That's solid sandstone with an andesite base. public lands and Social Security. Guys, Social Security is almost like solvent. I think the building's older than Social Security. They just carved it on there. I think they might have had a bell all the way up in there, which would make a lot of sense. Look at that crow going nuts up there. Guys, this is andesite. It's as hard as granite. Think of a granite countertop. Look how heavy this thing must be. And look, that is but one for this little overpass, and it runs the entire building, millions of square feet. Is just solid andesite. That's so excessive. Let's just talk about the grandeur for a legislative building. Absolute insanity of a narrative. Right? Like, who has ever stood there? It's a balcony. I don't think anyone's allowed because you can't go into that little room because that's for state senators only. What are we talking about? Solid marble. Beautiful chandeliers. And, yeah, it's a bit excessive for a state legislative building. It's the size of a VW Bug right there. Mesmerizing. All these people down here are getting history lessons about the building. About how all the granite and marble was shipped in from Germany and France. Like that even makes any sense. Here we go. Some beautiful Roman eagles. American eagles, I forget.
This one almost got me. However, there are a ton of photos online that supposedly show the construction of these buildings. I will say this though, the timelines that they give for when these things were built is suspiciously inconsistent. Like some of the photos claim to be from 1904, but claim to show a photo taken of a building that didn't even begin construction until 1912. So there are certainly some odd details surrounding these buildings. Hey, don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at barry-stepp.com.
Title 4D of the Social Security Act, and why is it important? First, a bit of history. In 1935, the government created a program as the result of the Social Security Act called the Aid to Families with Dependent Children, or AFDC. It was put into place to primarily help children who had lost a parent. In the late 60s, after no-fault divorce became of the law of the land, the ensuing divorces resulted in, mostly women who were now on welfare and other forms of government support. The massive increase in welfare recipients threatened to bankrupt the states. In response, the government in 1975 created the Child Support Enforcement and Paternity Establishment Program, the CSE. Inserted Part D into Title IV, which gives states matching funds for enforcement purposes, locating parents, establishing paternity, establishing child support awards, and collecting child support payments. Title 4D is broken up into three main parts: the administrative costs, which are the amounts they take out for all of OAG's efforts, grants for child support collection, and a federal incentive payment. There is also interest and other pieces, but these are the three main sections. When someone makes their child support payment through the Title 4D agency, it is usually by wage garnishment. The enforcement and collecting part of the requirement. The state sends notice to the federal government that it has enforced and collected. The federal government then sends money back to the state. This is everyone's tax dollars that are being sent to the office of the Attorney General. After a while, the state started to realize that there were a lot of incentives to this program and came to rely on receiving those federal funds and reimbursements. Those funds were used to pay the OAG workers, reimburse other costs, and, if they collect a lot, a bonus. In order to maximize their reimbursement, they needed to collect as much money as possible. The way to do that was to ensure that one parent had as little time with the child as possible, so that they could pay more child support. Lawyers saw this as a way to increase their already $60 billion a year industry, and judges wanted to make sure that their retirement programs were well funded since they are paid through the state. Here's 2016's Title 4D data straight for the HHS.gov website. For Texas, $367 million in administrative costs. This pays for the 2,200 OAG employees. $4 million in grants for child support collections. And since Texas was so good at collecting, a $72 million bonus check. That's $763 million of your tax dollars. This is why lawyers, judges, legislators, and anyone involved in the industry will fight tooth and nail to keep equal shared parenting from passing. If you liked my video, please be sure to visit my website.
And this is exactly why you don't allow a child services agent into your house without a court order. These people are not only looking for any chance they can get to profit off of you during a divorce, which is horribly shameful, but they'll do everything they can to come in between a parent and a child because of all the money and incentives that are involved in that as well. Most of these people are not there to help. If this is the way that they openly set up the system in regards to how they handle child placement during a divorce, instead of doing what's best for the child, what are they willing to do behind closed doors when they think nobody's looking? I don't trust anyone who works in the legal system. Our system is horribly broken.
And we got this gold came out of here.
Yeah. How much beer do you have to drink?
I went to about 8 or 10 microwaves just trying to get temperature. The biggest problem in working with microwaves is controlling the temperature. You can't put a thermocouple in there. You have to learn to get an eyeball on the temperature.
Oh my goodness.
See that? I have it on these charts. For about 10 minutes it becomes red heat, and 15 minutes it becomes orange heat, and then another 10 minutes becomes yellow heat. And you're up around 1100 degrees centigrade, and you get at that temperature, now you can melt and cast almost anything in there. I've even melted magnetite at 1500 C and aluminum oxide at 2200 C. It's just the insulation. I'm going to take a peek now and see how close we are to getting melted. Yeah.
It's hard to see. There we go.
And that was in there for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to put my sample out. So what's your silver in it? And I'm going to melt this silver in another 10 minutes. It'll be hot enough to cast.
What's the white blocks made of?
A lightweight insulation. It's a high aluminum silicate. It's a very lightweight material.
Really? It doesn't heat up in there.
No, well, lightweight goes right through it. I mean, getting rhodium out of black sand, and we got a full description of it. There's the rhodium and there's the iridium. Rhodium and iridium out of black sand. I have a full report on that.
Rhodium's twice as expensive.
It's more.
Why gold? Why iridium? Why silver? Why these metals? Why not others?
Because the elements in the center of the periodic table, down near the bottom, that's the gold, platinum, palladium, rhodium, all the precious elements. They have a structure where when they exist as single atoms, they call what they call ormus material. Ormus means orbitable, rearranged monatomic elements. The outer electron.
Who's the guy that gave it that name?
David Hudson.
David?
He says everything you walk on, everything you breathe, everything you drink contains precious elements of gold, platinum. Look at, I got goosebumps. That's a sign of absolute truth. It contains these precious elements. Electrons have chemically inert material, and they had to be activated to bring them back.
So John, are you saying
secrets in getting it out of the thing is to add graphite, because any crystal structure, the edges of graphite crystals have extra electrons, so you got to add electrons to bring it back. So that was one of the secrets I developed. It's in this right up here.
So what made you think of that? What made
Hudson says that they lose electrons, and everybody else has been working with it, trying to develop techniques of adding electrons. I know a guy taking water and making monatomic water by separating it with magnetic fields, then taking that water and running electrons into it, he gets 8% gold out of water.
So John, would it be fair to say that there are more than one kinds of gold? Is that what you're saying? There's regular gold and there's ormus gold?
There's a whole series of elements that are monatomic. You have to redesign a periodic table of materials that don't exist on the physical here, if you want to call it that. But they fit, they're very small atoms, they fit interstitially within the structure of regular atoms. So any crystalline structure, rhodium, iridium, quartz, quartz, stone, all these things here.
So John, what's it going to take for somebody else to duplicate what you're doing here today?
Buy the tape and practice and burn out half a dozen microphones.
Can anybody do this, no matter where they live? Or
most black sands, most all crystal materials. quartz, limestone.
Even in Minnesota?
The material has elements in it.
Do you mean by black sand magnetite?
Yeah, black sand magnetite. Well, another 10, we ain't melted yet, but probably another 5 minutes we'll be casting. The point I'm making is you can heat things high enough to do this. There's 17 arroyos coming down, and 2% of that granite mountain is magnetite. So every time it rains, it breaks down and goes into the arroyos. You go into these arroyos with a pail and a big magnet, and you see these black streaks, and you pick up that stuff and take it home. And I was making magnetic water. I drink magnetic water. I put it on my plants, and my third grade site, you talked about it. We had a 9-foot tall geranium. It makes it grow fast. Bad news now, you got to cut it every 3 days. It's magnetic energy is the energy of life. You know, Dr. Becker wrote a book, Body Electric. I'm going to write one, Spirit Magnetic. All energy and healing starts in the spirit, and then it has to manifest in the body.
I did some digging into this one, and it is a really fun topic to read up on. There are believers, and then there are skeptics. I'm going to say I'm on the more skeptical side of this because I haven't seen any evidence that this actually works outside of a few people who are making some really outlandish claims. And I would imagine that if anyone with a large magnet and an old microwave could do this, everyone with a large magnet and an old microwave would be doing this. But I couldn't find one example of a person claiming to have made their fortune in their microwave. Unfortunately, I think this falls into the category of too good to be true.
Yo, this is trippy.
So this guy bought an LG washing machine that was smart and Wi-Fi enabled. And one day he's looking at his internet consumption and realizes that the washing machine is using 3.5 gigabytes of data per day. He went on to find out. He was shocked. He was highly suspicious. What kind of information is this washing machine sharing? Well, apparently smart washing machines are collecting a significant amount of data, including personal information, date of birth, location, access to photos. Now, this is what many people are wondering, the Internet of Things, right? Everything being wireless, everything being smart, collecting data, and it goes down a rabbit hole similar to George Orwell's book. This is why I have no smart things in my home other than, I guess, this phone. I don't have any newly Wi-Fi enabled this, that, fridge, frickin' freezer, all this stuff. You want to keep your home as organic and Amish as possible.
We have a brand new washer-dryer combo that has Wi-Fi capabilities. Do people not realize that you can just opt out of those functions? It's a washing machine. Just clean your clothes in it. Some people really worry me because these companies prey on people's ignorance. They advertise that you can connect your new washing machine to the internet so you can download new wash cycles and ringtones. But they want access to your photos and your contacts? For what? Why would you, as the average trusting consumer, even suspect that your washing machine is obtaining that kind of information on you? I feel like this needs to be looked into. This feels like a deceptive business practice to me. Besides the fact that they're needlessly using up people's data without even notifying them.
Ruben Mockery and a couple of friends were camping late at night at a lake when they noticed that they weren't all alone. It seems like there was something in the middle of the woods, and this is what happens.
Woodland creature. Okay, what squirrel would look like that, Tom? It's an animal. Okay, we're in the woods. Go figure. Hey, Tom, guys. What? Oh my God! What is that? That's it. That's it. Oh my gosh. What is it? I don't know. Oh crap! Oh my God! Oh my God! Get in, guys. Get in. Okay. Where's the keys? I don't know. Where's Tom at? Where's Tom?
They flee to a boat of theirs after this red-eyed humanoid creature runs at them. They want to get out of there as fast as possible, but Tom is missing, and this is what happens next. Check this out.
Tom! Guys, I'm over here! Are you alright? Thank God, are you okay? Dude, I think I lost it. I don't know. I think it's right behind me. I'm not sure. What is it, dude? What is it? I don't know. You need to jump. Come on, get in here with us. You'll have to jump, Tom. It's not jump. This is too high. Dude, if you don't jump, it's going to get you. You have to jump. Oh my God, stop! Come on, Tom. Oh, swim, man. Swim, Tom. Swim. Oh my God, did you see it? No. No, we've not seen it. Wait, what is... Dude, what is... Oh my gosh, dude, did you see that? Thank God you're too fat. It's the same thing we've been seeing. That's it, man. Let's get out of here. Let's find out what that thing was. Dude, it's a trap there, look. How are you, man? We gotta go, like, right now. Now. There it is. Did you see it? Do you see it? No, hold on. Dude, if we get this on camera... There it is. That's it. Dude, why does it keep chasing us? I don't know. Oh, my goodness. That is... Dude, oh, my gosh. It's about to jump in the water. Are you serious? Oh, my gosh! It's okay. It's chasing the boat, Tom.
It looks to me like this was a really well thought out and really well executed skit, but they should have hired some better actors instead of just getting their buddies to be in it. Those guys didn't sound like they were genuinely scared throughout any point in that entire video. And the guy who kept yelling Tom throughout the entire video must have been under the impression that they were getting paid based on effort. And the movement that you can barely make out there at the end of the alien just looks like your classic CGI skinny alien that I've seen in every Hollywood film since Signs was released. And I think that the glowing eyes was just something they added to make this thing more visible in the dark. I don't think this is real at all.
All right, so I posted this the other day and it kind of blew up. And a bunch of people were asking me, all right, how do we do it? How do we overthrow the ruling class, all right? And I got an idea. All right, so those of you that haven't figured out that things like the NFL, the superb owl, all right, those are rituals. Those are energy harvesting rituals. And anyone that hasn't figured out it's all scripted is either a retard or Kansas City fan. So they're also still a retard. Okay, so in 2004, the NFL argued that they are not a collection of 32 teams in competition with each other. They argued that they are a single entity providing entertainment and not subject to antitrust laws. The only other sport that occupies this position is the WWE. All right, it's theater. And it is theater meant to emotionally charge you. And that emotional that energy is being harvested. Now, where am I going with this? All right. All it takes to bring down this tyrannical system is that we stop participating. So everyone, all of you that are aware of this theater, this nonsense, don't participate. Don't watch the NFL. Don't watch the Super Bowl. Don't go and buy a bunch of pregame and, you know, all the snacks. Don't participate. Make them suffer. All right. Basically, our money is energy, and we are willingly, and it's all imaginary now, right? So we're giving this, we're essentially willingly participating in this system. And what are we giving energy to? All right, they are corporate entities that are symbols of greed, tyranny. Essentially, they're parasites, and we are willingly giving them energy so they can manifest into our reality. And the more they manifest into reality, the more power they have over us. So we got to stop participating. That's all there is to it.
I think this is so obvious to most of us, and I think there are a lot of people already who have decided to check out of the system and have started putting more thought into how they're utilizing their resources. But I think something amazing is about to happen. I know I'm not the only one who can feel it in the air, that this is the year that something big is going to happen that's going to take down all these massive evil industries. I hear people talking about it all the time. I think these Diddy lawsuits and stuff, and hopefully the eventual release of the Epstein files, is going to cast so much light on the dirty deeds of Hollywood and the music industry that they're not going to be able to recover. People are going to walk away en masse. Everyone's going to turn to alternative media sources just like they did whenever they discovered that the news was just a big propaganda machine. And I can't wait for it.
There is a story about giants in Death Valley. These two amateur archaeologists, they heard these legends regarding this ancient underground city where giants used to roam. So these two dudes kids, Dr. Bruce and Dr. Daniel, they were just exploring all through Death Valley, and they found this really, really small opening of a cave. So they went down in. They said it was polished stone, like it was perfect. And one of the first caverns that they found, they call it the Hall of Giants. And it was basically these preserved mummies of these giants, hundreds of them, ranging from like 8 to 12 feet tall.
Wow.
Just weird stuff. And then another room that they went into apparently had these preserved, mummified, extinct animals. They had dinosaurs in it, saber-toothed tigers, mammoths. But it gets crazier. They said that they explored it for a total of 15 years. Didn't want to tell anyone about it. So they got all these investors together and they wanted to start a company called Amazing Explorations. He brought these investors to the caves to see it. And they're like, whoa, what the heck? This is insane. But it was very secretive. So like only Dr. Russell knew the exact entrance of this cave. Shortly after that, an article came out talking about this underground labyrinth, ancient giants, all this stuff. And he said, I'm going to do a press conference. I'm going to bring artifacts from the cave and we're going to expose the whole thing.
Yeah.
On his way out to collect those artifacts, disappeared.
Oh, boy.
He was just gone. And they never found him.
I wanted to put this in here for anyone who's looking for a good story to dig into. This one's difficult to dig through because there's a lot of conflicting details on what appear to be reputable websites. Even websites that are trying to debunk this story often use added details that I've heard nowhere else except for their website. So it certainly seems like there's a concerted effort to make this story fade into history. But I just couldn't find enough evidence, especially anything that could be backed up, to even suggest that this Dr. Russell guy even disappeared the way they're claiming in this video. Most accounts just claim that he faded into obscurity, but almost every website I visited gave a different account of how this story ended. Maybe there is some truth to this if the right person digs in the right spot and finds it. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back soon with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at barry-stepp.com. And don't forget to drop a photo of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video. But guys and gals, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.